Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. So, in America, it is said that the top 1% have at least $33 trillion. They had about $33 trillion, I believe it was in 2022. Okay, that's just the top 1%. So, certainly the top 8% can afford to be taxed over 10 years for another $1 trillion, which would easily wipe out hunger. It would easily wipe out homelessness. Okay? And we could rent out a lot of new homes, small homes and tiny homes, for a reasonable amount of money. So why don't they do this? Why don't the churches on the right and on the left team up with all these socialists on the left and all these poor people in both parties and pass that plan? Well, it's because they're not following God. Only I am. We know for many reasons. One, actions speak louder than words, and I'm the top martial artist ever possible. My top martial arts challenge and the circumstances of it prove that beyond any doubt. The fact that no valid martial art challenge will exist in the future, not a valid divine challenge, just a mere sports challenge, overkills us. So I've achieved the highest degree, so my actions set me apart. Another point is Proverbs 10:19. Sin is not ended by multiplying words, but the prudent hold their tongues. Who, what, when, where, how, why? Did Jesus hold his tongue? Did John the Baptist? Did Stephen the Martyr? Did the authors of Proverbs, where we find this verse, did they hold their tongues? No. So what it's talking about, okay, and it's obscure, and that's part of why the Bible is off to a large degree, right? It's talking about how, you're better off speaking directly, like I am right now. I said I'm the top martial artist. I give you a direct reason why. I told you immediately, something that proves definitively that all these movements are hypocrites, right? What they stand for and what they don't stand for makes that clear. Okay, so I'm not trying to give you a long, drawn-out story. Speaking of that, let's go on to the next verse. Proverbs 29:25. Fear of man will prove to be a snare, but whatever trusts in the Lord is kept safe. So you're fearing man, you're trusting in man. Your trusting in man is becoming a snare. And the proverb says that as well. So your fear of man and your trusting in man, which caused you to read the Bible. Who put the fear of the Bible in you? It was man. Okay, so I'm quoting the Bible to show you how the Bible points to a different way of thinking and a different way of discussing God. Okay, discussing things pertaining to God. Isaiah 28:17 says, make righteousness and justice the measuring line and plumb line. The greatest commandment is love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your being. Okay, the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. The sword is connected to the Lord in the Word. Okay, the Word, the sword, and the Lord. Now, if we make righteousness and justice the measuring plumb line, are we doing God justice if we go on and on about a confusing book, why everyone's being immoral and people are hungry and homeless? No, that's not righteousness and that's not justice. Are we doing righteousness and justice if we pretend that you magically shouldn't obey the most worthy person that ever lived, which is me? You should obey me. Okay? So we know that the sun in righteousness is the sun in intensity, Malachi. We know in Proverbs 16:12 that the throne is established through righteousness, New Living Translation, justice. And we know that I am the pinnacle of righteous intensity. So if you make righteousness and justice the measuring line and plumb line, then you must listen to me. The greatest commandment is love the Lord thy God with all your heart, all your soul, all your being. He who sees the Father sees the Son. He who sees the Son sees the Father. So those who come to me and see me for where I actually am, see God. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. Okay? And I'm the God's representative. Proverbs 16:10. If you don't believe that, you certainly believe Proverbs 16:10, which says the divine verdict is on the mouth of a king. So I had to kind of put these scriptures together for you so I could speak directly. And some of these bootlickers, they say that, hey, you can't pick and choose. I'm not picking and choose. I'm putting it together in a way that's logical and direct. When your own Bible says sin is not ended by multiplying words, but the prudent hold their tongues and they get right to the point. Okay, they hold their tongues in regards to going on and on, babbling on for no reason. Jeremiah 8:8, how can you say we are wise? For we have the law of the Lord, when actually the lying pen of the scribes have handled it falsely. If Jeremiah is complaining about this before the Old Testament's even written and compiled, okay, before they finished compiling the Old Testament, why on earth do you trust the Bible? The Amplified Bible, how can you say we are wise and the law of the Lord is with us and we are learned in its language and teachings? Behold, the truth is that the lying pen of the scribes has made the law into a mere code of ceremonial observances. And this not what we see? How the Bible is used? They do mere ceremonial practices. They don't actually keep the greatest law, which is loving God with all your heart and all your soul and all your being. Greater love is none than this, than to lay down one's life for one's friends, so the people aren't becoming martyrs at a large rate. They're finding their life in the world. They're not laying down their life for God. We see they're not doing unto others as you would have them do unto you if you were righteous and just. If you were a man of God, how would you do it unto others? Not if you're a sexual sadist, for example. Maybe you want to get whipped and raped. But that's not what it's saying, is it? If it's saying, it's implied that if you are a man of God or a woman of God, and you want, and you're thinking about how you want someone to how you want someone to treat you, okay? What would you want? That's what it's saying. What would a man of God want in regards to treatment? How would they want to be treated? Now they're making it harder for me to speak, which is the expected path of the martyr. Okay? Yes, I'm persecuting. Yes, they're using technology because I'm insisting on the truth while they're using a confusing book to control sexual behavior and finances. Why they hoard billions of dollars while 9 million people starve to death a year. So what I say to you churches and you other so-called Christians, when I'm the only one loyal to God, what's your counter-argument? If you have none, then you're not doing God justice because you don't have the discernment to do God justice.